But there was great news on that same Monday Night Raw. And this was news we've talked about all year.
This I've heard about, yes.
This is very good news for lots of different reasons. They teased, and unfortunately they teased it that you knew it wasn't going to happen. They teased that Daniel Bryan was going to retire. The same way Edge did, what was it already, like 3 years ago, when he came out after WrestleMania and retired because of neck injuries. They teased it. I fucking hate JBL in commentary. He ruins everything now. Because he says, well, every wrestler has that crossroads. He has to come. It was so blatant that, okay, he's not going to retire because you're saying that he's going to retire. When Edge retired, they didn't say Edge is going to retire. They basically said Edge has an announcement to make. Yeah. That's all they said. And then he came out and retired. Everyone was like crying. So Daniel Bryan comes out. Spoilers, he didn't retire. But he gave a very heartfelt speech out. This was a rough year for me. I lived my dream. I main evented. He basically said it. I main evented the WrestleMania. Basically said I wasn't supposed to when he wasn't. He said because of you guys, I main evented it because they pushed Batista down everyone's throat and everyone rebelled. Then I got married, and then 3 days later, my dad died. And he starts tearing up in the ring, and I was like, oh shit. And then I get the neck injury, which I was probably lingering, but it finally happened for real. I think it was in June. Actually, it was like May. It was like. The whole point was he's been gone for half the year. He had to give up the title. And honestly, they didn't know he was going to wrestle again. He had a surgery, and reports were it wasn't totally successful. Right. He still was not getting feeling back in his arm. So this would be obviously tragic. Guys in his prime, he's the most popular wrestler in the world before he gets hurt. The fans fucking love him. He's a great guy. He's our buddy and neighbor in PB. He's
got good facial hair.
So, but they brought him back after Survivor Series to show up, and the fans still went nuts. And Bryan's not a guy they're mentioning on TV even every month.
No, I remember that too, and because I saw a clip of it.
They're mentioning fucking Roman Reigns coming back for hernia surgery, but not Daniel Bryan coming back from a neck injury.
Yeah, but it was a really... It made me happy because it showed that maybe the WWE fans aren't as fickle as I always think they are. Sure. At least with a good worker that they've really attached themselves to. Because you're right, they haven't been talking about him.
They were hedging their bets. I think.
I think they were too. They were hedging their bets. They really didn't know if he was coming back, and he shows up, and the crowd still goes fucking apeshit. Crazy.
As much as they do nowadays. It's not like the Attitude Era with Austin and Rock, but it's
people
almost
bleeding over bleachers. Yeah.
So he comes back and says, people are asking me, this is the end, and he's tearing up, and people are like, fuck. Mm-hmm. But he goes, no, this is not the end. And he goes, and I'm here to announce one thing. I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And the crowd goes fucking apeshit. Wow. And instantly I'm like, this solves all their problems. Yeah. Because Roman Reigns is not the answer. No. He's not the future at this point. And
it's never going to be the future. I'm sorry.
Well, at this point, it definitely is not. But Daniel Bryan, and they would not have announced it unless he's going to go to the Royal Rumble and he's going to win the Royal Rumble. They would not have announced it. Because if he goes to the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be in Philly. Oh. Philly is Smarktown, USA. Yeah. If he goes to the Royal Rumble, he goes in that event and loses it, it'll be worse than last year when he wasn't even in it. They will boo the shit. Not only will they boo the shit out of it, they will shit all over the ending, no matter who wins it, unless they have Ziggler. That's the only option.
That's what I was gonna say.
That is it.
There is
Ziggler and Bryan. That's it.
That's what I was.
And it's not going to be Ziggler because Bryan's still the most popular wrestler on the planet.
The only thing that I could see, and you took the words out of my mouth. I think the community as a whole, they wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't shit over a Ziggler win. No. They wouldn't. And I think what they could do, potentially, because the company's run by assholes, they could give Ziggler the win, which would be great. It would probably be... my guess is it's got to be Bryan and Ziggler at the end. One of the two wins. If Ziggler wins, some sort of fucking stipulation match occurs. Bryan's still in WrestleMania is what I'm getting at. Bryan is still headlining WrestleMania.
They're going to do the Bret Hart narcissist Lex Luger double ending and decide who's more popular? Yeah. No, they're going to have... Whenever they do an announcement like this, they always win. They just about always win. And again, he never had his Royal Rumble moment last year when he should have. True. I said it before, and I'll say again, the Lesnar versus Bryan will be the biggest match in the past 15 years, especially since Lesnar, they've blown up as the biggest monster. And Bryan, it's the ultimate underdog story. You're shaking your head, but you will watch that match.
I will, but will you get off of Lesnar's ass? He sucks. He's not a believable monster.
He's not a believable monster?
He hasn't blown up. No one gives a fuck about Brock Lesnar.
When he's on the show, the whole show changes. Because
they'd rather be doing something else.
You are going to be killed in the comments. He's a credible monster. He was the UFC champion. That's not a credible monster.
He's a credible monster. He's not a good or interesting monster.
He's interesting, especially with Heyman. The point is this, is that I will watch that match. That match will be very, very, very good.
Yes, it probably will be.
Even better when Guerrero faced Lesnar and beat him for the title.
That was a great match.
It will be better than that.
Yeah, no, I'm not doubting.
The drama will be a hell of a lot higher.
I'm not doubting that it's going to be a good match. I'm just saying Lesnar as a whole is milk.
You're not buying into the character.
I'm not buying it. No.
Okay, I do. I buy into the character. I buy into he has very good skills in the ring, especially for a guy that huge.
No, he is good in the ring.
Yeah. So that's going to happen. If it doesn't, they're going to... I think they're even being careful. I think Reigns are going to even not even put in the Rumble. I think they realize he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think they put him in with... I think they're putting him in a feud with like Big Show or something, or someone else, or you know what I mean, just to get him out of the way because the fans would shit all over him. And it's a shame because Reigns seems like a nice guy. He just doesn't have the believability of this tough guy. He looks like a tough guy. You don't feel it. The difference people say, well, Bryan isn't good on the mic either, but Bryan is authentic.
Yes.
That's who that guy is.
Yeah, right.
And the fans realize that.
He's not great on the mic as a character, but he goes out and plays himself.
Yes.
The weird thing is just that we're getting a little off topic here. There was like 2 points I wanted to make, and I already forgot one. One, you're right. You're probably right about the Rumble because
they want first of all, they want the network buys.
Ziggler benefits greatly. Ziggler's going to benefit almost exactly the same from a second or third place finish as he would a first place finish, whereas Bryan needs the Rumble. 1. 2, the other point that I wanted to say is it's just funny looking at... I feel bad because the guy's injured, but it's funny when the Shield broke up, a lot of people thought Reigns was going to be the one that needed the least amount of help to find his place on the card. He needs the most amount of help to find his place on the card.
Rollins' guy is actually the most solid. Rollins is the number one heel in the company.
Rollins is a fantastic heel. And Ambrose is
doing well.
Is doing well. I was overall let down by the Wyatt Ambrose feud. I thought it should have been a lot better. But Ambrose and Wyatt are both still great wrestlers. But yeah, Ambrose found his niche. I mean, they all found their parts. And now you've got Reigns, who, when you're not tagging, that's the thing about these big guys. You see him in it's as a 3-man tag. Reigns could go in there and look impressive, but he's not gonna work a singles match.
I left the comment
super well.
I left the comment. I was totally serious that the Reigns Big Show match. I could have worked that match with the amount of moves that were just punch, clothesline, punch, kick, clothesline.
You mean
punch.
Owens Big Show? The stairs match?
No, Roman Reigns versus Big Show.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
They had a match like 2 weeks ago, and it was the most just mundane match. I don't want to say it was bad. It was just like holy shit. Like, you can't even work against a big guy because you're kind of big guy yourself. Where it was something like Bryan, take out the legs, work that, or if it's Ziggler, run around, bump a lot. It's just he only worked. Big guys only work as the biggest guys in the company. Actually, they rarely work and he's not even as big as John Cena is. But at least John Cena has that personality where he's like a superhero. Reigns just has the badass personality, silent guy.
I used to think I'm not gonna lie. I used to think good old Paul White was, for a big man wrestler, more interesting than most.
Oh, yeah.
But he has not been interesting in years and years.
Well, he's got to be like 43.
Yeah, I know. He used to be good in that role, and now he doesn't pull it off very well.
So, I'm happy. Obviously, the WWE would not probably give the go-ahead unless they figure Bryan is on a good road to recovery. They would not chance this happening again where, you know what I mean? Unless he was fully recovered, they're not going to have him go and get injured, after winning the Rumble or being champion again and disappearing. I know it's been a bad year for WWE. Before, Reigns had the hernia thing, but Bryan gone. You have CM Punk gone. You have Del Rio quits. You have...
Oh, no.
He was a good worker. They needed the heels. They needed everyone. The whole point was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Del Rio is fun. I'm thinking of the fucking flamenco dancer guy.
Oh, he's back as a different version.
Yeah,
2,
I know.
2.0.
I can't stand that guy.
But the whole point is that you had all these bad injuries this year.
Yeah.
And so there was depleted, but Rollins filled it in. Bryan's back. Barrett just came back, which is good, and he's a face now.
He was a face when
but
he
they are
left.
so depleted with heels. Ryback's now a monster face again. There's no heels except for Rusev and Rollins. That's it. Those are your big heels. It's really rough. And Bryan and Way Bryant. So Bray Wyatt. Yeah, my voice is going.
The smart thing to do, I think, would have been to continue what they teased in NXT, which was turning Neville heel, and then brought him up as a heel into WWE.
Maybe they'll do that.
As Mighty Mouse.
Anyway, that can't be true.
I'm hoping
that's
not.
like the hurricane coming through again.
Well,
so anyway, I'm happy. We're going along on this, but
yeah.
I'm actually very glad that Bryan's back because he's a fantastic wrestler. He's, like I said, the most popular wrestler, and he's a really nice guy. And I'm happy to see him recover from this and him winning the Rumble. And plus, it's a built-in storyline. He never lost his title.
Yes.
This is Brock Lesnar's technically an interim champion until. So that's even a storyline where he's like, I should get my title shot, and the authority says, no, you're a B+ player. You got to win the Rumble. You're going to be number 1 or 2, and then work your way through it. So
wrestling.
Woo!